Welcome to today's episode of the Career Mindset Podcast. I was waiting for this episode a very long time, and you will understand why. I'm super excited to have with me Gisel. She's a visionary soulpreneur and art director who blends creativity and holistic practices together. Gisel specializes in microdosing and bioneuroemotion guidance. She uses transformative techniques to unlock new levels of creativity and personal growth by helping individuals and teams tap into their fullest potential. So please join us as we explore Gisel's journey and the incredible benefits of microdosing in both personal and professional life. Welcome to the show, Gisel. How are you?
Thank you very much for the introduction. It was really nice.
Oh,
And thank you very much for having me. It's nice to finally do this together because also I've been waiting for the invitation.
yes.
So I'm very happy that finally we are here together. So
I'm so
thank you.
excited. And thank you for being here. And also, I'm so excited for the topic we will discuss today. It's a very interesting topic, and nowadays, a lot of people talk about it. So let's dive in and let's start by explaining more for those who may not be familiar. Please explain what microdosing is and how it differs from typical use of psychedelics.
Okay, yeah. So microdosing is a technique that right now it's most people are using. So it's about like, as I say in the name, like microdose. So it's like taking very little doses of psychedelics, could be LSD, mushrooms, um, any kind of. So because the way that also right now many products are like branding and doing all of these is very different. But microdosing really help us to all the benefits from the psychedelics, not having any kind of physical effect, probably as a high dose might give you. So microdosing is by, as I say, taking these little doses. You will will follow a protocol for a certain time, could be a month, 2 months, and in that period, everything will happen in yourself, kind of in internal way. So you won't have, as I say, any physical effects. It will be everything internal, your emotions, your mind. It will be kind of like I always say, like reconnection with yourself.
Okay, and is it like, what about the intention of this? Is it intense? Can you, I mean, do you experience those feelings or your thoughts in a very intense way, or because exactly it's microdosing, it's easier, more relaxing, more,
Yeah,
calming?
exactly. The huge difference between microdose and macrodose is
Mm.
like macrodose, as the name is, like you take a high dose of psychedelics. That is like you will experiment like very high levels of visuals or like physical experience. You will have a trip, as we
Mhm.
always call it, right? But also that can be very overwhelmed because you will have very like an evidence of visuals and things that will happen, and that always is recommending to have a kind of like trip theater, as we call. So in
Okay.
that way, you will have like the full experience, a lot of information, insights, and many things. Not all the people prefer to have that kind of feeling because, as I say, it can be very overwhelming.
Mhm.
So microdosing is another alternative. I always I notice that difference are pretty big because microdosing can be very subtle, and if you don't really work with someone who can guide you through this process, also you can miss many information. Because right now what is happening, actually, it's like it's becoming a thing right now, no? It's that I see everywhere like this kind of marketing with the
Yeah.
microdosing. but they are not really taking care about like doing this in a responsible way. So I know that many people are just taking microdosing and probably they can feel great, but
Okay.
sometimes they don't even understand why.
Yeah.
And after microdosing, they go back to feel the same, with anxiety or depression or whatever. For
Mhm.
me, microdosing, yes, you can have a lot of information about yourself,
Mhm.
but it will be important to have this, like awareness
Mm.
about like what's happening, and probably someone that can guide you to explain you everything what is happening. So in that way, during these protocols, you can focus on a specific thing. You can create objectives to go there, to get there. From that, to get the full benefits from
Yeah.
microdosing.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. It's very important to have in our minds to when we when we do something for the first time, it's very important to do it with a professional, even if it's microdosing or just, diet or anything new
Yeah.
for ourselves, because we don't know how our body or our organization will react. And so I'd love to know a bit more about your personal journey with microdosing. What inspired you to start, and what insights or transformation have you experienced along the way?
So everything started when I started studying bioneuroemotion, and that technique really helped me to know myself in a better way, because human beings, we have a high percent about like all the information that we have, it is not ours. It's just like the information that our parents or generation have shared. So sometimes we don't even know like how we are structured. And that's very important to understand who you really are, like putting a little bit aside whatever like society, people, family teach you. So when I started studying this, for me was like kind of like opening this Pandora box, because for me was like realizing how responsible I am about my life, right? So to be honest, I was living as a victim for the whole of my life, and I was suffering, and I was, you know, everybody's guilty, everybody just treats me bad, and nothing happens to me, kind of like really suffering everything. So when I arrived to the school to study that, I was like, oh my God, am I the responsible for everything? Oh God. So that was also very shocking. And also because you understand, I started understanding where I was coming from and everything that, like who I was supposed to be, and not being aligned with my own essence about like who I really wanted to be. It's kind of like I was forcing myself to don't show off, because it was a way that also people teach me.
Mhm.
So when I started, okay, so I have to do it for myself. I have to start showing up. I have to take care of me. I have to love myself. I have. But sometimes, even if you want, mind can be very tricky,
Oh,
because mind can
tell me
be,
about
like,
it.
because mine can tell you like, no, you're not able, or no, 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 let's stay here because here is like our comfort zone, or many ways. So life really happened very fast, and microdosing arrived to me. And it's funny because I always have the belief that it's kind of like you feel the call with mushrooms, but mushrooms come to you, not the other way around.
Okay.
So really everything was pretty fast. And I did it for myself. It was like kind of like like making this experiment about like, okay, I heard that microdosing can be very, like useful for breaking patterns and transcending information and that kind of things. So I said, okay, I'm gonna try this, right, with myself, knowing exactly what I need, because that's another tricky thing. Right now, society, like people think, like for example, in general, someone knows or thinks that they know what they want for themselves. Like
Yeah.
they think that they are right.
Yeah.
That's the problem. We are right, because we constantly are like telling now these stories, and we always think like, oh yes, yes, sorry, I know I'm right, like everybody's wrong. So when I started doing microdosing, from the point that I have this my full perspective about myself, having all the knowledge about what my kind of like wounds, my limited beliefs, like everything, it was limiting myself. So when I had that thing, it was like, wow, it would be amazing if I do microdosing. I kind of reprogram myself just to overcome all of this. And the good thing with microdosing is like you start with an intention, with a really clear intention. So for example, my first intention was like, I don't even remember. It was more about letting the control go because I was a
Okay.
control freak.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this just to really align to this. And the result was amazing, because when you are by doing bioneuroemotion and having this full perspective of yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and by merging this with microdosing, knowing exactly where you want to get, it's just easy to kind of like observe yourself, being very conscious about, because that's why microdosing have like give to you, right? This awareness about like, how do you behave? What do you do? What do you think? Because kind of like, yeah, observing yourself and to see that probably there is no coherence about like what you think, what you say, how you feel, like all of that. So with microdosing is having this awareness to be very present, to say, okay, this is like, I see the limited belief,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna listen, and I'm just gonna do in the other way, like in the other way that I have never allowed myself to do it.
Okay.
Because microdosing really stops this rumination in your head. When
Okay.
you stop that, you will have, a space to do or create so many things. So that really helped me to start overcoming different things. Okay, actually, one of the things that I really overcome was like this fear of talking in person, like showing myself or yeah, just like showing myself. I was always very nervous, I struggled a lot with that. I feel like very shy, very introvert. And right now I can just like play with this and really enjoy this process of being
Wow.
a big change for me.
Wow. Thank you for sharing this amazing story. And I wanted to ask here, is it the quantity is different from every person? And so also the time, the period of time that someone needs to do the microdosing differs from person to person, or is it like the same for everyone?
It depends. It depends the type of psychedelic you decide to use.
Okay.
It depends about like the brand that you will, or you will buy the products, or probably you will do, for example, with mushrooms, you can do it in a very natural way, just like eating the mushrooms, very few
Mhm.
doses. There, there are very different protocols. There is one, like the intuitive one or like the sentiment. So there's like different ones.
Okay.
Also, the time you can start from 1 month till 2 months, and that's something that you cannot go over that time because psychedelics are not addictive.
Yeah.
Mm. So the more you eat, in some point your body will create this kind of like a tolerance. So you won't have any effect. So that's why it's important that you stop. You can clean your system and just
Mm-hmm.
if you want to do it again, and then like after a month, you will be ready again to do
Mm-hmm.
this. So
Okay.
everything depends about like the person, what are they are looking for, or how do they feel, like different things. And
Okay.
also the experience is very different for every single person.
Exactly, I imagine. So, what are some of the key benefits of microdosing that you've observed? I mean, you told us before about your own experience, but
Mhm.
some the benefits that you have observed with other people or clients, and particularly in the context of creativity and professional development.
Yeah, so I think talking about creativity or like applying to this into your business or environment, and be very, I always say like, yes, it's important to take care of that, but also it's important to understand what is the real root about like something that you're struggling with there. Because for me, always it's about, it's never the work. It's probably the way that you, the behavior that you have, the pattern that you are probably repeating that is creating you some kind of like noise. So when you do microdosing, by creating awareness, by stopping his mind, because some of the things that you start feeling right away, like that you feel it very, like it's very obvious to feel it. It's the way that your mind will stop running and it will be more kind of like
Yeah.
relaxed. And that is when you have that mind that is, you know, calm or not going like this or not ruminating, that will happen. The magic happens, you know,
Yes.
because when you have that space to say like, when just when you are stop worrying about something or when you stop telling to yourself, oh, I'm not good enough, whatever, that's when the magic really happens. So that can becoming creativity or being more focused at work or being more like I don't know, like more active, more social, more whatever. Um, that's a good thing about also doing that to your professional.
We definitely need it because I understand that it helps us come back to the present moment, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, including myself, I know too many people out there that our minds running and running and running all the time. And by thinking the future and how we can schedule and control our future and how we can be successful in the future life instead of, be here now in the moment, in this present moment and being creative here because I understand, yeah, when we are so anxious to be successful in the future, we, we make our mind to be so busy thinking about it instead of being calming and becoming creative in the present moment. Is that correct?
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, totally. Yeah.
Nice. And another question, what kinds of issues people may have in order to start microdosing? Like a few examples.
Mm, I think it would be important to take the legality of the product in their country where they are.
Mhm.
Uh, Also, I think it would be important to have the check the quality of the source because of
The quality, I didn't hear you, sorry.
the quality of the source.
Okay, okay. And I mean, what kinds of issues they may have and they want to solve? Like you said before, that one of your issue was a control, right?
Yeah, sorry, issues. I was like
It's
understanding something
okay.
else.
This is what happens with the internet sometimes and the online
Yeah. No problem.
recordings. So yeah, what kind of issues like people may have about controlling, as you said before, or what else in order to ask for help with microdosing coach?
Yeah, the most common thing that they when they come to me, it's anxiety. So they are looking for more focus at work,
Mm-hmm.
or will be kind of like be nice with themselves because
Yeah.
they notice that they have this bad dialogue within.
Okay.
Probably they want to really stop that because they realize that that is something that are like blocking them in different things. And something funny that I would like to share is like sometimes I have a client that they come with they want to be more focused because I think I just need this and that at work, give my best. And sometimes it's like, no, you're gonna relax, you're gonna sleep, you're gonna take for free because kind of like mushrooms will, I mean, I'm talking about mushrooms because that's the psychedelic that I work with. I don't really know the others with microdosing. What I love about living is will always give you what you need. Probably you are expecting to have, you say like, I need to be more focused, more creativity, more creative. But in the end, it's like mushrooms will tell you, it's like, yeah, but first take a break. You know, like probably they will start a little bit feeling sleepy.
Yeah.
And they say like, no, but I want to be more productive. It's like, no, like listen to your body, you know, like your body's telling you to really relax and take a break, and you just don't rush into your life, because that's what you really need. And also I can see the resistance that I'm like, oh, I wanted to be more, you know, productive. And when they really take the time to relax and to enjoy it, they are like, you know, when I was relaxing, I started like having more ideas or something like that. But for me, it's always like during this process, allow everything that comes. That don't resist, don't fight it, because in the end, we are trying to help you to reconnect with yourself. The most important thing for me.
Awesome. And can you share like any more specific examples of how has microdosing influenced your work as an arts director and also a founder?
For me, I mean, I really like to do, what I say, like I like to have very clear what I think I need according to Bioneuroemotion shows me and everything. And with being a founder and also an art director helped me to kind of like, one of the things that I was struggling a lot was like really showing myself and looking for, I don't know, like kind of like creating my own network, because at some point of my life I realized that yes, being an entrepreneur and being at home all the time by myself and all of that was like not really healthy for me. And I say, but also after being that much alone, sometimes I don't even know how back again to be there, showing up, blah blah blah. So really microdosing helped me in that process to be more present, to be more more connected with my emotions, because also that's very important in my process. Because if I don't really listen myself, probably I try to push things, you know, and sometimes it's like no, just like by listening myself, you know, like taking the right break when you need it, probably not forcing a connection with someone. And also what I really feel it was my biggest shift, thanks to microdosing, I quit alcohol because it's something that I was looking for. It really gave me this opportunity to start relating with others in another way. Because for me, alcohol was a really something that helped me to show in a different way, to be more, you know, opener or whatever. And with like being sober, for me was like, okay, so who I am?
Yes.
How do I interact with people? So, you know, like something I thanks to microdosing and Bioneuroemotion, I start really knowing myself
Wow.
in full perspective. And by being very, very aware about it, I've been working from that, you know, that that I can really apply into my professional life.
This is fascinating. And I really want to know, how do you integrate microdosing with Bioneuroemotion Guidance in your daily routine? If like, are there any specific tips or steps that you do and people may do out there as well?
Well, I'm trying to really combine these with clients, because I collaborate with different brands who sells microdosing, but I have noticed that the clients that they come from those websites, sometimes it's people that they really want to feel, they want to just like get the magic feel.
Yeah.
For me, it's like how you can get there, but we have to work, the work is always needed.
Yeah.
So with bioneuroemotion for me is to have very clear what is your main struggle
Mm-hmm.
right now in life. Where is it coming from? Uh, how this is affecting life, and what do you have to do to change that? Because if you don't change, nothing will change in the outcome. So that's very important for me to at least have it very clear when you're going to start microdosing, to have the real intention about what you want to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't have that very clear, you can be a little bit lost. So probably you can see information, but yeah, you might lost many good information. So that's why it's very important to lead the process of really knowing yourself. Because if you don't know yourself, it will be hard to really get what you want to get to be.
Yes. True.
Mhm.
And say again here that all these techniques and practices take time. So give time to yourself when you start something like that. Be patient with yourself and allow the coach and the professional to guide you in this journey. And last question for this episode. What advice would you give to individuals interested in exploring microdosing, and especially regarding the legal part and ethical considerations they should be aware of?
Mhm. Well, the one of the first thing will be the set and setting. What it will be your intention, what you are looking for, these kind of tools, and also from that to find a good source where to get this product, because right now there are many out there.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I don't know all of them, but it's good to know the source and to be very clear about the quality and everything that's around this product. To, as you mentioned, to start very low, go slow, because for me, yeah, reconnecting with yourself, but also from love, because sometimes we forget about that, right? It's like giving that love to you, because we are doing this for ourselves. Otherwise, like, what is the point? To talk with a specialist. In this case, it's more about, like, for example, with people who suffer anxiety or depression, that probably they are under treatment.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important that they talk with their doctor. So the doctor is aware about this, because it's important to lower the doses or to probably be clean with those treatments, because in this case, psilocybin cannot be mixed with this. So that's important that the person is aware about it. And yeah, looking for some guidance, I think it's very
Mm-hmm.
important, because that guidance will help them to guide them through the process, and also to integrate that part. Because for me, when you finish cycle, could be 1 month, 2 months, you will get the information. So sometimes you're like, what do I do with this course, right? So the integration is about, like, giving the space to do it by yourself without the psychedelic,
Mm-hmm.
and to really do that by yourself, you know, giving kind of like all the learnings inside, just like apply it by yourself. In that way, if you decide to do it, and if you take care all of this, because also I'm the one who gives kind of like homework, right? So it's like, okay, we're gonna start a cycle, but do journaling, take notes, talk to yourself, observe. Because if you take notes, we would talk about it during the whole process. Drink water, meditate, go to nature. For me, it's like, and I do think the more a client commits with that, the results are amazing.
I see. There's a whole process out there, a whole structure that you offer, and it's amazing. And if anyone wants to find out more about microdosing, if they have any questions, can they come to you? Can they have like a call with you?
Yeah. In
Thank
my website, I have a specific link for discovery call, so they can book
us.
it and we can talk about it. I'm always free
Fantastic.
to share.
So yeah, you can find the links on the description of the episode, and please connect with Gisel and ask any questions you may have about microdosing. That was it for today. Thank you, Gisel, for this amazing, extraordinary episode. I was looking to this episode for a long time ago, and I'm so happy that we finally did it. Thank you all out there who listened to us. I hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to rate the episode with 5 stars if you like it.
Thank you, Fenia.
And see you soon. Bye bye.
Bye.